So in this video, we're going to be talking about Justin's journey, how he went from 240 pounds down to now 205, how he's gone through the struggles of researching and trying to find all these different things all over the internet, how he teamed up with us, and now his weight loss has just gone down week after week. He's going to be running a half marathon soon, a marathon, and he's got his body back, he's got his mind back, he feels better for his family, for his kids, for his future. Don't take it from me, let's dive into the interview.
First off,
Okay.
appreciate you taking the time to chat, brother. I really want to highlight the journey that you've had so far, which even just
Yeah.
looking at you, it's been like, dang, my man. I would
Yeah,
like
I
to be able to
wasn't.
highlight like what's most valuable, like your biggest wins that you've had. Like my goal ultimately is to be able to share this with other guys who were in your position not too long ago. So don't overthink things,
Absolutely.
just speak from the heart. So
Yeah.
why don't you like tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and what fitness looked like before you actually teamed up with me.
Okay. My name's Justin Scales. I code. So my job, I sit at a computer and type 9 to 12 hours out of the day. I mean, prior to, I thought I had a good grasp, just being a former athlete, on what nutrition and exercise fitness was. But what I was doing as I hit 40, it wasn't working like it used to. And throughout, I found myself approaching 250 pounds, which is like the heaviest that I have been to kind of help keep myself accountable. I signed up for a Chicago Marathon. I'm just like, all right, like you got to find something that's gonna work because if not, come October, you're gonna live that truth. And I remember telling you that, and I remember going back and forth, like in our first conversation, and being like, what does October look like? And I'm like, if I could just be like 200 and like 15 pounds and able to run a marathon, like that would be great. And
Now
you're
it's a
just like,
reality.
yeah, like now it's like I mean, 215 was kind of like a goal. And like this morning I woke up, I'm like 206. Um, it's it's insane to think about. 'Cause so my son, 5 years old, he weighs 46 pounds. Like I essentially between like January and now lost the equivalent of him like off of my body. I no longer struggle to run. I don't think I've necessarily hit that runner side that you were talking about. But like in all honesty, like if I was to go out and do like a 10-mile, 15-mile run right now, it's no longer something that's not imaginable. Like it's something that I know I could do fairly comfortably and give myself like a solid time. Like I'm not
Yeah. What was there like a moment that like changed for you? Was there like something that really hit you that made you feel like you had to sign up for that marathon and start reaching out for help?
I felt like I was just getting too comfortable being uncomfortable in my body, if that makes sense. Clothes weren't fitting how I wanted them to fit. They definitely didn't fit how they used to fit. I found myself like buying like bigger and bigger sizes, and it's just like, all right, like size 38 waist, and sometimes like an extra large isn't really like flattering in terms of how it fit. I
Was it
think
just
for
like
me,
continuing to go like shopping? Was there like a holiday? Like I mean, we
I
we
think
teamed
like,
up in
like
January, February, so
yeah, like weddings with friends and family where it's like you kind of have to dress up, or with work when we'd have like outings. Like I was just like, oh man, this sport coat is
mm,
kind of snug. Like it doesn't necessarily look the best. And while buying a dress shirt isn't necessarily, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive. Like buying a sport coat or buying new slacks, like they
mhm,
definitely tax you on those. And like oddly enough, like now I have two coats that I hope I never have to put on again.
mm.
But like I'm fitting back in clothes that like sport coats and suits that I've had since like 2016, like 10-year-old
That's great.
like things. I'm probably like honestly probably like a 34, 35-inch waist. And I think now like my body, because I lost a lot of weight in like a relatively short amount of time. I feel like my body's starting to like readjust. I don't know.
Yep.
I like my body weight doesn't necessarily fluctuate as much Like I feel like it's less and less.
The journey has been awesome to see, and
Yeah.
keeping things so simple. Like when you look back in January, like when you first came to us, what was it that you were actually looking for? Like, what did you want to achieve?
Literally where I'm at now. Like this was kind of, well, I don't want to say where I'm at now because my goal is ultimately like to finish the marathon with like what I feel is a competitive time for me. But
Hmm.
in terms of physique, weight loss, progression in cardio and endurance activities, like where I'm at now, um, being
Heck yeah, man. And I remember
like
when we
a
first joined, like I also had to challenge you on what was actually possible. Because sometimes whenever people are so far away, they
yeah,
put out a goal, but they sometimes don't even really believe it. I'm like, no, dude, if we're gonna do it, like let's go for it, you know?
yeah, yep.
And before that, what would you say that you were struggling with the most? Like, was it time, motivation, consistency, energy, injuries?
No, I think I was going to too many different sources. Like I had too many different sources of truth,
Remember that?
and and trying out so many different. I mean, I even went as far as to like finding like a high school teammate that had like we used to call it the Big Cat workout because our football team, we were the Lions. Finding somebody who had like our high school football workout regimen, I'm just like, I'm just gonna get back to that. I'm just gonna grind through that because this is when I remember having like the most games in my life, being the most fit.
Mm,
And I don't want to say it was lack of consistency, but maybe lack of consistency on a proven um like on a proven methodology, or maybe I was just doing the wrong things, like too much of the wrong things, and I just wasn't getting consistent results or the results that I wanted to see.
yeah, and for those that will be watching this, like what made what you were doing compared to what you're doing now with our programming, what made it different? Why are you
Believe it or
successful?
believe it or not, I think a lot of it tied back to like my heart rate, to the amount of stress I was putting my body under while I was going through these workouts.
Mm,
Um, I was putting myself under so much stress that my body wasn't necessarily releasing the fats. Like I was leaving the workouts feeling like exhausted, feeling drained, like kind of like hit the gym with that like die every day mentality, like go until failure, like push yourself. But I think with sharing my first run with you, you're just like, dude, your heart rate, like you're at 185 in like the first 5 minutes, and you're just holding 185 until you completed. Like that's not healthy. And that I think that comment changed the way I approached um a lot of my activity
that's
because
huge.
I'm more conscious about the amount of stress I'm placing on my heart
Mm,
and me having my heart rate in specific zones too long kind of being counterproductive to the goal that I have in mind. So like learning that for me was I think was a big game changer in how I approach fitness, like just in general. Even like with my distance runs, like I know if I'm doing a distance run or if I'm out running long, it's just like okay, I get to a point where I'm starting to feel fatigued. Like I can have a gel and lower my heart rate in the heart rate zone and still continue going. Like it might take me like a couple of minutes to kind of get over that mental hump of oh man, like I'm tired, I want to stop, but like afterward I'm fine. I'm like 15, 20 minutes in, like, oh man, that wasn't
yeah,
that bad. And like I'm
yeah.
still able to like kind of I don't want to say muscle through it, but like mentally carry myself um through a fatigue, which before it would have been before I used to hop on the treadmill and I'm like, I'm gonna do 6 miles an hour for an hour. I'll get 6 miles in an hour. And that was
Hmm.
that was kind of it. But yeah, that's I have a different approach to running, different approach to working out, really all based on what I learned from you, like in relation to the amount of stress that I'm putting my body under when I work out.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that perspective. Because for those that will be watching, we talk about physical, mental, and emotional stress, and your body does not know the difference. So if you're stressed out at
Yeah,
work, if you're not sleeping enough, X, Y, and Z, and you go and try to work out and gung ho, then you're just living in this constant state of stress. So that's a great perspective, and I appreciate you recognizing the difference that it's done in
yeah,
losing dang near 50 pounds.
yeah.
What would you say, like outside of the the stress component, what were some of like the early wins that you had in the first 30 to 60 days? Because you know how it is. People start
Yeah,
programs and they immediately think that some people fall into the victim mindset that, you know what, this isn't going to work for me. I've done stuff in the past. Like,
I think I remember specifically like the early wins being those like zone 2 runs. And I'm just like, oh man, I just did 3 miles in 45 minutes and I'm not even tired. Like this was a like for me then like that was a big win. I remember like coming to you and saying like I feel like I'm kind of like mall walking, like I'm not really moving. And you're just like just trust the process. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna shut up and trust the process. And during I saw myself like, oh, okay, like month over month, like this my body looks different. Like it's getting easier. I'm not stressed out afterward. This run feels nothing like the run I was doing on my treadmill at work.
yeah,
And because it was getting easier, I could physically see the numbers of I think when I started, I was maybe at like almost like a 14-minute mile, like zone 2. And
hmm
like now I'm at like a 10 and a half minute mile zone 2.
yeah,
And like I was able to see those numbers like progressively come down, which for me really that was the buy-in because physically it
mm,
didn't feel like I was putting in the work.
yeah. Because you're so, as I said in the beginning, like you're so not aerobically in shape
Yeah,
that you're gonna have to walk. And now that's turned into you just did a race this weekend. So your
yeah.
initial 5K time did like week one, day one. Do you remember your time?
No, but I think it was maybe like 30 something minutes. I wouldn't be
It def
surprised.
it definitely was. And then this past weekend you ran a 5K in what?
What was it 24? 24
Yeah, man.
minutes? Like 24 minutes and some change, I think.
And that
And
was not zone two. That was cooking it, baby. And that's
yeah,
okay on race day. Well, man, I know a lot of people that follow my content that haven't actually stepped over that line and taken action yet. Like, if you had a chance to sit down and talk with them, what would you say to them?
man, I think the first thing I would say is like don't be afraid to take that initial first step and don't be afraid to try things different than what you've always done because like I mean I'm living proof. Like I don't feel like I've put in the work to lose the 43 plus pounds that I've lost. And if you were to ask me prior, you were to put down like maybe what I had laid out and what you had laid out before, I could probably like point by point say like my routine is better because of X, Y, and Z. It it wasn't the case. So like not to be afraid and just really stay patient, like stay patient with the process. Because I mean, even I think I had maybe like some months where it's just like I spent 3 weeks at the same weight, and then like all of a sudden out of nowhere, um, like I'd have like a 4 or 5 pound like drop in weight, and then like it just continue on. I think we found really good ways to push through the plateaus, making like slight adjustments to the diet. Everything just really worked in harmony to get me to where I'm at now.
What a perspective talking about comparing the two plans, because my
Yeah,
entire philosophy is about simplifying everything so that you can actually manage what's working and what's not working.
yeah,
And we never really reached a phase where we had to overcomplicate things, you know?
yeah. No, like we really kept
So
it simple. Like run, do your workout, eat
lock
well.
in on
I think the
nutrition.
only thing, the only thing I probably struggled with, and I still do struggle with it, is the protein intake aspect. Um,
Sure.
I'm still trying to find a way to get close to 200 grams of protein without having like 120 grams of protein in protein shakes.
Yeah.
But literally outside of that, like everything else, simple. Like I mean, my foods now. Like I'm eating to recover, not necessarily, I don't say like I'm not eating for pleasure, like I don't eat food that tastes good, but how I'm feeding myself has more of a purpose. It feels it feels right.
I love when people say this
Yeah.
because I'm like, yeah, everybody knows it, but
Yeah.
when you actually start doing it, it's a total game changer.
Oh,
Well, brother,
and
this has been Awesome, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
you sharing your journey, and I know that it's going to inspire a lot of people who are in your shoes in the beginning. So I can't wait to see you cross that marathon, brother.
I know. I had to send you my bib number so you can track me.
Yeah, baby.